Yo, yo. Yo, what's good, Panther fans? It's your boy MDJ. And, Black Cat Panther Podcast has allowed me to bless y'all today with my take on the Carolina Panthers 2024 NFL Draft. Now, a lot of mixed opinions out there in Panther Nation. I'm tapped in. I listen to various podcasts. And if you're watching this, I know you the same way. So a lot of mixed reviews when it comes to this draft in particular, man. It was Dan Morgan's first draft as GM. A lot of Panther Nation is in his corner and was excited to see what he did. And this is after the draft, so we got the results now. And just to cut to it, just to get right to it, man. I get this draft here solid B minus or C plus, somewhere in that range, right? I don't think they hit it out the park, but I think for first time GM Dan Morgan did a damn good job. One thing they did bring in some talent that that this team is void of. We got some developmental pieces. We got some guys that might could start right now and help us immediately. But just to get to it, first day of the draft, 1 through 32, we picked 33. We didn't have a draft pick in the first round. Come to find out, last pick of the draft, Dan Morgan trades up. They trade with the Buffalo Bills. So they picked 33 and we picked 32. With that pick, we selected Xavier Legette from South Carolina. 6'1", 227 pounds. Good receiver. Other than the top 3-4 guys, man, we didn't have a shot at getting them guys. You got your Marvin Harrison, Rome Odunze, Malik Neighbors, Thomas. We had no shot at that. Now, anything else might have been fair game, but, honestly, we had a handful of receivers to pick from. And it was expected. Everybody knew that we were going to take a wide receiver at either 33 or 39. Now, when we took Legette, I wasn't expecting him to necessarily be there for us, because I thought in the first round, pre-draft, I had us taking 9 receivers off the board just gone, and we would pick from there. So, I'm expecting Ladd McConkey. That's what a lot of people have been talking about. A lot of people were saying Keon Coleman. But Bryce Young's father before the draft said, hey, if we had our choice, it would be Legette. And that's who we got, man. Now, when we picked Legette, I wasn't mad at all. I think Panther Nation was shocked that we traded up to get him, because in reality, I don't think that the Buffalo Bills were going to take him. I think they were going to take Keon Coleman the whole time, as they did the next day at 33. Keon Coleman or Adonai Mitchell, even McConkey, I think were graded higher than Legette. As far as a fit for us, I didn't want Ladd McConkey. I wouldn't have been mad at Keon Coleman, wouldn't have been mad at Troy Franklin, but we got Legette. This guy here, he is raw. He is a raw talent. As far as the route running, it could use some work. But as far as the physicals, it's all there, man. And I think he fits the build of receivers that we have here already with Jonathan Mingo and TMJ. So was it the best option for us? In my opinion, no. I think we need an outside X receiver with speed. I had been beating the table for Troy Franklin, who actually slid in the draft and could have been on this team at some point. We'll get to the rest of the picks later. But yeah, we got Legette, man. Once I did my homework, I do like the guy, man. I love his story. That accent he got is fucking legendary, man. We in for some good. If nothing else, man, when they ask this guy a question, man, we gonna get some laughs in, because that's a damn country boy. I mean, like middle of the woods stick type shit, man. He's a country guy, So the accent is legendary, man. And once you find out about this guy's character and the things he's been through in life, man, I think he got that dog in him. Now, one knock on him is he only had production that last year at South Carolina. But like I said, if you dig into that story, which I'm allow y'all, I'm not gonna speak on it. If you look into his story, man, it kind of explains, man, that the guy had a lot going on, man, and I commend him. He's a Panther now, and I'm happy to have him. Like I said, Bryce Young's father did say that was their pick, so I'm sure that might have been Bryce Young. And it's like an unspoken thing in this draft that Bryce Young, this is a draft for us to evaluate Bryce Young. As much as it is to get talent on this team, and they won't openly say that. Hey, look, man, if you tapped in like we are, we need to, this is make or break. Get some talent around Bryce. He either gonna make some shake, or he gonna get up out of here. And I think that's the outlook on that. But yeah, Xavier Legette, man, I like the pick. I didn't have any complaints about it. And a lot of people were complaining that we moved up a pick, just one pick, to get him in the first round. Whether you blame Tepper or not, man, the truth is they did it for the 5th-year option. Mixed reviews on that too, man. A lot of people say, who cares about a 5th-year option? But as far as spreading money out along the contract, man, or injuries, anything can happen, man. It can come in handy. And I think that was their thinking on taking a look at this. Like I said, it was expected, right? We knew we was going to get wide receiver, or a lot of people saying center at 33 or 39. So wide receiver off the board, 32. So day 2 comes up. We no longer have 33. We have 39. A few picks come off the board, a few receivers, a few D linemen. So boom, 39 hits us. And this is where, for me, I got worried. I'm like, yo, what the hell are they doing? Because there was a lot of talent on that board. As far as centers, which we all in Panther Nation felt like we needed, you had Zach Frazier, you had Jackson Powers Johnson, who ain't even supposed to be there. Technically, as far as rankings of players, top 100, he's the first round talent. All right, but he was still there. We had our choice at 2 corners, which I personally wanted. Either Kool-Aid McKinstry or Cooper DeJean. Man, that's somebody you can start right now. We just lost Dante Jackson. We traded him for something we needed in a receiver, but it's also a hole on the defense, man. You can't ignore that. We have Dane Jackson, Troy Hill. Troy Hill's mostly in the nickel. So honestly, me personally, I wanted Kool-Aid McKinstry. So anything they did with this pick, if it was outside a corner, I was gonna be a little bit soft, But that's just me being selfish, But on to the team, what they actually did, man, they actually traded back. I don't know the exact one off my head, man. Somewhere in the 50s, you know how it went. But anyway, somewhere in the 50s, we traded back. And come to find out, we pick up our second that we're missing. We're missing a second next year. Dan Morgan gets a second. Now what pissed me off with this is, 39 is important because we traded like them, hate them, or love them, we traded Brian Burns for the Giants for pick 39. So indirect, you're going to always compare who we took at 39 to Brian Burns. And Brian Burns was a high-level pass rusher. To me, he struggled in stopping the run. But I'm not going to sit here and fake like he won't no good damn player, man. He'll probably go to the Giants and make more Pro Bowls. Here he made 2 Pro Bowls. So when you trade a guy like that and you don't necessarily get the value that you deserve because we had 2 firsts on the table for that guy and ended up with a 2nd and a 5th, I thought we should have took the talent. But we traded back into the 50s, man. And it was like from here, it's like an elevator up and down, man. Dan Morgan all over the place. And that's where I started to get worried. We ended up in the 50s. Well, in the 40s, we trade back up. 45, 46 to get in front of the Giants and the Cowboys. The rumor was the Cowboys wanted a running back, which we ended up taking. And also the Giants, who traded Saquon Barkley. I felt like that's why it was key for Dan Morgan to get that particular spot to get the running back, Brooks. You know what I'm saying? And to me, while I do know he's a dynamic talent, man, he's coming off an ACL injury. You can't ignore it. I know. He's going to be, some people say he's going to be ready for camp, and he was the best running back in the draft as far as grade-wise. I was pissed. If you watch that live, I was pissed about it, man. I was trolling like, man, we took a fucking running back. I act like I didn't know who he was, man. My comp to the guys like Saquon Barkley as far as what he can do. As far as running style, it's different. This kid got good feet, catch the ball. Some similar stuff Saquon can do. But once again, they said they weren't going to take no injured players, and they did. They took Brooks, which, like I said, he is the best running back in the draft. But running backs these days aren't valued the same way they were as recently as when we took maybe a Christian McCaffrey, man. And I don't even feel like it was the biggest need on the offense. Say what you want about Chuba Hubbard not being a number 1 back. Maybe he is a number 2. I feel like he's a solid number 2 back, but one thing he's been doing is getting better every single year. Could we afford to have waited and see if he got even better this year? Probably. You also paid Miles Sanders, who's a fucking waste of a contract, and is rumored to be up out of here now that we got Brooks in here. And once again, I think he can be good, man. So at first I was pissed about it. But in hindsight of realizing that we got a 2nd round pick next year that we didn't have, and next year's draft is vitally important, just like this one was, to our future. We could be looking to add to talent to the team for our growing quarterback, or as a lot of people think, Bryce just ain't it, man, and we'll be moving forward. So getting that 2nd was big. So in hindsight, wasn't as mad about the move, but it was definitely questionable at the time, man. Next pick of the draft, third pick for us, round 3. We took a linebacker. This is another thing where we knew we needed it, but we weren't certain they was going to take this guy. I mean, at 3, you had talent on the board at tight end. You still had some defensive players we could have used, maybe cornerback, maybe a Kyrie Jackson type something, man. Like I said, I wanted to go corner at 39. So if Kyrie Jackson on the board, I'm like, hey, man, here you go. We took Trevor Wallace, Kentucky. Once again, now Dan Morgan's already said this guy's not here to replace Shaq, but to learn from Shaq Thompson. Man, I think Shaq Thompson's on the back end of his career, which we all know, and he's coming off injury. Major injury for the first time. So it's still a question at middle linebacker. Maybe the kid can come in early and beat Shaq out in camp and maybe produce. If not, he has a veteran to learn behind, and possibly in the future, he might could be something. But they did say, like I said, he's here to learn from Shaq, not necessarily replace him. Bit of a reach to me. I think on the board, Peyton Wilson, if there was a linebacker to take, he was still there. A lot of people aren't that high on him because he had injury, but man, he's been healthy the last 2 years and was wreaking havoc at NC State. So if I was to get a linebacker at that point, I think Peyton Wilson was a better value. But hey, man, Wallace is a Panther, and look, man, watching this tape, because I ain't know much about him, just watching this tape, man, hey, the kid got some instincts. So once again, another raw talent, but he might could develop into a solid linebacker for us. But the future holds that. So that was day 2 of the draft. That was that Friday. So Saturday, day 3 is 4 through 7. So at 4, unexpectedly, amazing talent still on the board. You got Troy Franklin, you got Jatavion Sanders, bevy of guys. And at that rate, I think everybody in Panther Nation wanted tight end Jatavion Sanders, and they actually made the pick, man. I think that as far as value, that was the best pick of the draft for where you got him, man. This guy was the second rated tight end on the board, man, behind Brock Bowers. Now, there was a tight end, this not who went before him, and I know why Sanders slid is because the combine, man. And, he on tape, you watch his tape, he's a fast, dynamic downfield threat at the tight end position who can block. But ran a 4.74 40 the first time, then he ran into 4.6 the second time. So officially they're gonna say 4.6. But the first time he ran it, it was 4.7. He didn't clean it up till that pro day. But I don't think anybody in Panther Nation can deny that when you go watch the film at Texas, man, that kid was a fucking threat, man. And once again, our quarterback is not a game changer, more so a game manager. And the thing is, we putting talent around the kid, man. You spent $150 million on your offensive line to fix that. You got him an outside receiver. You got him a number 1/2 receiver, Deontay Johnson, who could number 1 in separation, can run short intermediate routes and can stretch the field if needed. You got Adam Thielen, old reliable, man. He's up there in age, but hey, he's still crafty, getting it done. So, adding Jatavion Sanders to a tight end room that's kind of been underwhelming. Now, Tommy Tremble got some talent. I think Tommy Tremble will still push for that job, maybe to start. But Jatavion Sanders has the physicals and ability to go ahead and try them boys to the back. I think he can make an immediate impact as long as his head is on straight, man. So I like that pick of Jatavion Sanders. I look forward to seeing what he can do for us. Moving on to the 5th round, they finally decided to address the cornerback position. They got Charles Smith-Wade. Didn't know too much about him either, but come to find out, at the Senior Bowl, he did good playing the nickel position. I think this is another one where I don't think he was brought in to start right away. Most of his work is done in the nickel position, where we have Troy Hill. We just re-signed Troy Hill. Troy Hill earned every penny of that contract, man. A guy we picked up off the streets and got it out the mud, jumped right into the system, and was a perfect fit. But you do have Smith-Wade now to add depth to the room, and maybe he can learn behind Troy Hill maybe for a year. And boom, you have youth at that position as well. The 6th round, we took Drayden Crometti, 6'4", 301 pounds. He's a big boy. They say this kid can get it done at nose tackle, has ability to push the pocket. Once again, another raw talent. Probably a developmental piece. We have Ashawn Robinson. We got Derek Brown. Shot Tuttle's still here. So, the kid may get some burn here and there, but once again, another developmental piece. I'm kind of rushing through the end of this draft because anything past 4 this year, I felt like was just character They saw some flashes on tape, stuff they think that Evero will be able to develop because from 5 to 7, it was all defense. 7, we took Barrett from Michigan at linebacker. What I learned once I looked at his tape, man, he's undersized as hell, man. I think he's only 5'11", 5'10", 244. Some people think he might could play safety. That's a little heavy for safety. Like I said, undersized. He was on Michigan, man, so he's hard nosed, and I think he overachieved with Jim Harbaugh. But hey, he can help us out on special teams, maybe on kickoff or maybe even a gunner. You never know. But hey, you a Panther now, man. Welcome to the Panthers. I wish you the best. But if we didn't take you probably would have went undrafted. We did pick up some undrafted guys. Now I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know the list top to fucking bottom because I don't. But I do know we got Plummer, quarterback, big guy, got some arm talent and released a little bit slow. But we needed a third body. One guy the undrafted I did like was Jalen Koch. I know a couple guys here was trying to tell us about him. And once I looked at his tape, man, he's a little slick route runner to be undrafted, man. Who knows? He might could make the team. We also got a guy from coastal Carolina. Who knows? Maybe he comes in and do something. I don't know. But just overall, man, the first 4 picks, at first, like I said, with that running back, I was on the fence with that shit, man, because running back ain't no premier position no more in the NFL, man. Running backs don't have a long lifespan. Some running backs ain't even getting their second contract, man, and they team hopping right now. I mean, I felt like we could have stuck it out with Chuba or maybe drafted a running back later, and at 39 actually got one of those talents, man. Jackson Powell Johnson was right there. Kool-Aid McKinstry right there. Cooper DeJean right there. Zach Frazier, if you want it, right there. And one thing we learned from this draft at center, we didn't address that until undrafted free agents. They got the center out of Oklahoma, Ram. Maybe he comes in and makes the roster as a third or maybe backup center. I think right now the plan is Corbett to start, which we know is coming off the injury. But if he's healthy, I definitely think he got the ability. Hell, you could argue he was the best lineman we had on the fucking team. But that's here nor there. If he stay healthy, that's the movie we finna watch. We finna watch the movie, see how it play out. I'm cool with it. Would I have liked to got a young center that could grow with Bryce Young or the future quarterback? Hell yeah. But I know as far as if Corbett stays healthy, he definitely has the ability to handle the role in the position, man. And then we have Brady Christensen, who's been up and down this damn offensive line. I think he's a jack of all trades, master of none, man. Solid. He ain't good, but he can get the job done, man, at backup. So we'll see how it plays out, man. Like I said, it's Dan Morgan's first draft. The best thing we did in this draft was get that second for next year. We got Jatavion Sanders, I think that was a high value pick. And Leggett, man, like I said, man, it's hard to root against Leggett once you see that story, man, and how the kid worked, man. People person, I wish him nothing but the best. I wish all the players nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? But, that's just my take on it, man. I just want to get up here and give a little rant, man. You know how I do. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. I do work over there that's affiliated with the Black Cat Panther Podcast. I do work over there on the Tailgate Experience where we talk about all NFL teams, not just the Panthers. And then you'll see me over here too. I'm gonna show my face and do what I gotta do over here too, man, to push the content. Because this right here, this is the team we root for, man. It's the team we love. But go ahead in the comments, man. Let me know what you think, what you agree with, what you disagree with. What do you rate the draft? You know what I'm saying? Just let me know in the comments, man, and show that love, man. And I respond back. As long as I see it, I'll definitely respond back, man, if you holler at me. But let us know what you think about that draft, man. It's your boy MDJ for the Black Cat Panther Podcast, man. Y'all be easy.